Okay, we're going to take a look at the other worksheet that we have. Go ahead and share my screen. Okay, so the first thing we're looking at is the definition of a p-value. Definition of a p-value, again, this is one of those ones that's kind of a good to have in your hip pocket. Assuming that our null hypothesis is true, and what we want to do is we want to put that in context. So we want to make sure we talk about the context of the problem we're dealing with. The likelihood, the probability, the chances, the likelihood of getting my observed result is, and what you're going to do is you're going to put whatever that p-value number is. So now, let's go through and see our decisions on p-values. The way we are always going to do it is we're going to compare our p-value to our alpha. So in this case, my p-value of 0.258 is greater than my alpha. So what this situation is, this is a fail to reject the null. Fail to reject the null. It's basically saying I got not a significant result. I'm not surprised to get this result. Okay, the next one, I got a p-value that is less than alpha. So that means I'm going to reject the null. I look at the next one, my p-value is greater than alpha. So again, I'm going to fail to reject here. Fail to reject the null because it's not a significant result according to this significance level. The next one, I got a p-value of less than alpha. So this is going to be a reject situation again. Last one I'm going to be careful about because it's actually a less than. Just be careful with the decimals. P-value is less than alpha. I'm going to reject the null. So those are the decisions I make when I look at those. Now, the next thing. This is one of those things where it occasionally comes up in a multiple choice question. It doesn't come up in free response very often at all. So what I'm going to do is kind of walk you through what it is how I'm going to read table A. So what I'm going to do this is I'm going to look at the z-score first, and then I'm going to look at the sign here. Since this sign is a less than, if I have a greater than, if I have a greater than or a less than sign, that means it's a one-sided test. Okay, so what that means is when I look at this table A, I'm only going to look at one side of the table A. I'm going to take one number out of the table A. So I'm looking at greater 1.26. I'm going to come here. I'm going to go to 1.2. I'm going to drag my finger across till I get to the 6. And when I'm at 1.26, I'm at 0.8962. I'm at 0.8962. But the thing I need you to realize is it's saying 0.8962 is less than. This alternative says greater than. So what I need to do is I need to do 1 minus 0.8968. Now, what I want to show you is because of the symmetry of this curve, if I go to negative 1.26 and drag my finger across to negative 1.26, I get 0.1038. That's what this answer is, 0.1038. So that tells me there's about a 10% probability of that happening. Next one is a nice one. Again, it's a one-sided because I got a less than sign. And it's a negative 2.41. So I'm going to go to negative 2.41. And if I look here, I get 0.0080. That tells me the p-value here is 0.0080. Now, these ones right here are two-sided. Since it's two-sided, what I'm going to do, both of these are two-sided. What I need to do is I need to go to the table. I need to get the p-value out of it, and then the value out of that table, and I need to double it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to negative 0.29, negative 0.2, and 9 is all the way over here at the end, and it's 0.3859. So it's 0.3859, but I need to double it. And when I double 0.3859, I'm going to get a pretty big p-value of 0.7718. And then the last one, 1.78. I'm going to use that symmetry thing. I'm going to go to negative 1.7, drag my finger all the way over to 8. So it's 0.0375. So it's 0.0375. I'm going to double it. And when I double 0.0375, I'm going to get 7.5. Yeah. So I'm going to get 0.075. And again, that's because it's two-sided. So I walked through that with you all in class today. That's just another way to do this. I want to kind of you to get your head around the hypotheses and the p-values and how to do that. What's going to happen in the next class is we're actually going to do our first test. It's going to be a proportion. We're going to do something in class. We're going to try and determine if there is a truth to a statement. So hopefully that will help. Share. Please ask questions if you have them. We are getting into the significance test part. So next week we'll do a couple days on significance test, 1 sample. Then we'll dive into 2 samples, and we'll talk about the types of errors we can run into. And then what we're going to do is we'll wrap up and we're going to test this thing on March 7th.